And what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode where we're going to discuss about the Bitcoin price, and we're going to discuss about some news that consider institutional investors getting into the crypto space and some other news. And now let's get started. So after that pump when Chinese president went out and said about blockchain adoption, we are consolidating here in this bullish pennant over 2 weeks. Now the only problem with this bullish pennant is because it's turning on to be bearish one. Why? I'm going to show you some things that you can recognize in the market, some kind of a bearishness into the bullish patterns, and one of them is how strong is support of that special pattern. For example, here we had few hits in the level of support of downtrend level of support of this bullish pennant, and as we can see, we did test it here and on couple of places over here, so we can see 5 touches already. Now what this means actually is not that this support is getting stronger, but it is strong. So let me repeat this one more time. This level of support where we are consolidating over here is strong. It showing us that is strong, that could held this price more times, but actually is getting weaker because every time when price hits in some kind of a level of support or resistance, that level is getting even weaker until it pops and price goes down or up, depends where the price is hitting. Now one thing that consider bearishness in this bullish pattern, why is bullish? Because we came from the uptrend of 40% here and we were consolidating here, and now we should actually pop on the upside. But what is happening here at the end of this pennant is the price is getting weaker, so it has no power to hit this level of resistance, to even try to retest it. So what this means is this gap here that we have is showing us the weakness. The price is spending time more on the downside, so on this level of support, which means that could potentially pop and push us even down further. But everything can happen because the volume, as we know, is weak in the market right now, and as I know, it's below $200 million in 24 hours of the Bitcoin trading volume, so we can potentially see breaking up this on the downside. But everything is possible because probably many people saw this level of this pattern here and trading by it, so which means that this pattern could be very valid. So to recap, every time when the price hits some kind of a level of support many times, that level of support showing us that it's strong, but it's getting weaker actually by every single hit, and potentially could just break and let the price go further down below. One more evidence of that, as you can see here, if we can draw here some kind of a level of supports and resistance on this channel, we can see that the price hit this on the 4-hourly chart actually pretty much many times, and after that broke on the bearish side, which means that it had no time and no power to retouch, to just try to retest this level of support as it did here, broke on the fail here and here. So this gap that you can find on some kind of a patterns is the gap that is showing you the weakness in that pattern, and eventually the price will pop and go down, as we saw that here. If we zoom out, we can see more bearish stuff here. If we put the 20 EMA, we can see on the daily chart that we are already under it, and this pattern, bullish pattern it should be, where we broke on the bullish side here, is being retested here, and as I can see, its retest is going to fail and probably we could potentially go back down. If we bring the another EMAs here, we can see that we are already below this 100 exponential moving average on the daily chart, 200 daily exponential moving average, and we unfortunately broke 50. So there is no much supports below us right now in this area, except this one that we were trading here in the past few months. So this level is actually tested many times also on the daily chart, which means this level of support is pretty much valid. As we can see, this is the one retest, this was the another, third, and also this as a fourth. And if we manage to break down in this area of trading zone here, we could see potentially retesting it again. And as you know, every time when we touch some level of support or resistance, it's getting weaker, and this is already fifth time if we actually going to retest it. So we will see what will happen in the future, but the things are not looking so good for the Bitcoin in the short-term analysis. As I mentioned and rumbled in the previous videos, about 20 exponential moving average on the weekly chart is very important level of support and resistance in every single bull market and bear market. In the Bitcoin as a level of support and resistance, we can see that we broke below this level of support, unfortunately, and now we are pretty much far away from it, and going to see some kind of a trading zone over here, or maybe even lower. But I think bears and bulls are even in the strength, so we will see strong fight here in this level of trading zone where we were trading in the past previous months. And since we do not have any more indicators and any more things to talk about in the TA, we will jump and head over to the news. Some interesting and funny news, as we can see here. PayPal's Pornhub snap pumps Verge by 33% on 168% volume surge. If you don't understand why this happened, I will show you the news. Actually, Bitcoin fixes this. PayPal cuts payouts to over 100,000 Pornhub models. So unfortunately, our models and actresses will not get any more money from the PayPal payouts, and that accidentally, as you know, Verge is listed on the Pornhub, I think, so you can just buy stuff there with the Verge, which means that the models now can get paid with Verge or something, and that's why the price actually go up. But this is not because of the volume that the Verge became to just get used on the platform. It's because simply of news. People think that this is going to happen so fast and that the Verge will go to the moon, right? So that's why people pumped the price up, and the price went 168% in green, which is pretty much okay for the all gainers. Congratulations. And let's go to the next one. Institutional investors want these three things before jumping into crypto. So as you can see, crypto, it's not just Bitcoin, which is good. Justin Cho kicked things off saying custody, liquidity, and regulations are the top three petitions from institutional investors jumping into crypto. I don't want to read you all this because it's boring and you're gonna get bored. Just go to this site and read it, but I'm just going to mention this custody. Institutional investors don't want to mess with the storing their own assets in their own homes, so they need custody as the backed has, and probably others will have in the future. Liquidity, nobody wants to trade in the market that is so easy to manipulate as it's happening with the Bitcoin price here. Now, as you can see, we have pretty much very low volume. And the third is regulations. Of course, nobody wants to be scammed. So as soon as the regulations come into the space, as sooner we will see institutional money, and probably we will see retail money again pumping this price up all over to the $20,000 where we were in the 2017 here. And once we reach this level here, we will see probably media and retail investors coming in because the interest for the Bitcoin will grow rapidly. And one more very good news, let's say it's a good news for the poor people that invested here and lost so much money. Onecoin co-founder pleads guilty, faces up to 90 years in jail. Now this what I'm talking about, punishment. Konstantin Ignatov, co-founder of alleged crypto scam Onecoin, has pleaded guilty to participation in the multi-billion-dollar fraud. According to the BBC report on November 14, Ignatov signed a plea on October 4th and now faces up to 9 years in prison. The news was made public on November 12th, the BBC says. After being arrested at Los Angeles International Airport in March 2019, Ignatov pleaded guilty to several charges including money laundering and fraud. While facing up to 90 years behind bars, he has yet to be sentenced and will reportedly not face further criminal charges for his role in Onecoin except potential tax violation. This is, I think, good news that we can see that the bad guys will be behind the bars, but it's nothing special for the people who lost. I'm sorry, everybody who invested, you need to be much more careful, and as long as we can see those ponzi schemes in the crypto space, these institutional investors that we read this news will not come in until we can see this third thing that they are wanting, and that's regulations and no more fraud in the space, because nobody wants to invest in assets that could actually scam them and take their money away. And thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to leave us a like and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us and the channel itself. And if you're interested in more news, because there are no many hype news to read here, you can go to our Instagram page and you can just follow us, and we are uploading there pretty much daily, so you can read news and enjoy some funny memes and motivational content. And also on the Sunday I'm uploading crypto educational content every Sunday actually, so you can enjoy that also. And until the next update, happy trading and goodbye.